Close your eyes for just a second and try to imagine the sheer, agonizing, suffocating psychological weight of doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, we've all been there, right? Trapped in some endless queue, staring blankly at a screen, totally at the mercy of the clock. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into one of the most universal yet completely misunderstood human experiences. We're getting into the psychology of waiting. Think about a span of 60 seconds, just one single minute. Intellectually, we all know a minute is a fixed, unchangeable unit of measurement. It is what it is. But psychologically, man, a mere 60 seconds can feel radically, unbelievably different. And it depends entirely on what you're actually doing in that exact moment. Take waiting for a text message, for example. You fire off a crucial text and you desperately need an answer. Suddenly, one single minute feels agonizingly long. It's so drawn out, the seconds just stretch like rubber. It literally feels like an absolute eternity is passing while you just sit there waiting for those 3 little typing dots to pop up. But now, flip it around and look at the contrast. Say you're waiting 6 long months for summer. You're counting down the days, the weeks, the months, and then bam, summer finally arrives. But what actually happens? That entire season, the one you waited half a year for, just seems to vanish in an instant. It flies by in what feels like, I don't know, a week.
So, this brings us to the ultimate mystery box question. Why? Why does time sometimes crawl like a snail across a clock face, and other times completely and utterly disappear? Well, to figure this out, we're going to take a pretty fascinating psychological journey, because the answer to this doesn't lie in the physics of the universe. It actually lies directly inside your brain. Part 1, the pain of uncertainty. Right now, as you're taking this in, your brain is acting as this incredibly complex, anxiety-fueled prediction machine. It is absolutely desperate for certainty. It always wants to know what's going to happen next. And psychologists have made this incredible discovery about human nature. Turns out, we actually find uncertainty way more exhausting and painful than receiving outright bad news. I mean, the agony of an unknown outcome is actually heavier on the mind than the finality of a negative one. Just let that sink in for a second. We would legitimately rather know something terrible has happened than sit in the dark wondering. Whether you're waiting for exam results, a text message, or just some really important news, your brain is actively stretching out your perception of time. Why? Because it's relentlessly asking, okay, what's next? It's like your mental engine is just revving in neutral, and all that hyperactivity makes the wait feel physically exhausting. So the problem isn't actually time. The real problem here is uncertainty. Moving on to part 2, how attention warps time. You see, your brain measures time very differently depending entirely on where your focus is directed. When you're bored, maybe you're stuck in a long, totally unmoving queue, your attention just locks onto the clock. You start noticing every single taking second. You're hyper-focused on the passage of time itself, and that stretches it out so agonizingly. But when you're deeply engaged in being busy, say you're working on a fascinating project or watching an amazing movie, your attention is shifted entirely away from time, and suddenly hours completely disappear. Now, the crazy thing is, the actual physical time is identical. The minutes passing are exactly the same in both of those scenarios. Your watch is ticking at the exact same speed. But your brain's internal measurement creates 2 vastly different realities, and it's based entirely on where you point your attention. Which brings us to part 3, the modern message effect. Just consider the agonizing anatomy of a modern digital conversation. Minute 0, message sent. Minute 1, delivered. Minute 5, read. And boom, now your brain kicks into high gear. The expectation is set. Minute 10, the typing bubble appears. And then it vanishes. Minute 15, you're still waiting. This timeline perfectly exposes exactly how our immediate expectation violently collides with reality. Basically, stronger emotion equals a longer wait. When our expectations aren't immediately met, our emotional responses spike, and that rising anxiety artificially causes time to drag. The more you care about getting that reply, the slower the clock actually seems to tick. Part 4, why childhood felt endless. Now, to understand why life seems to speed up so drastically as we age, we've got to look at memory. Think about it. Youth is filled to the brim with brand new discoveries. Your first bicycle, making new friends, exploring new places. Because absolutely everything is new, your brain is recording massive amounts of high-definition information. When you look back, that dense packing of new memories actively stretches out your perception of the past. But as we grow older, life kind of settles into these predictable routines. Commuting, working, doing chores.
Because the brain already knows exactly what to expect, it just stops recording every single detail. With fewer cognitive milestones being laid down, a lack of new memories literally shrinks your perception of your own life. And that makes the years just fly by entirely unnoticed. And finally, part 5. Time is the mind.
So, the mechanics of waiting aren't actually mechanical at all. They are entirely psychological. It's uncertainty making us anxious. It's focused attention just obsessively watching the clock. It's heavy expectation crashing right into reality. It's strong emotion artificially slowing time down. And it's memory formation defining our past. These are the literal tools your brain uses to actively construct your whole experience of time passing.
All of this leads us to an incredibly powerful realization. Waiting changes how humans experience reality itself. Our internal perception completely overrides external reality. You aren't just sitting there while a clock ticks away on the wall. Your brain is actively warping the very fabric of your experience based purely on what you are feeling. Time is this wildly malleable psychological construct, and it's measured not by ticking clocks, but entirely by the human mind. The clock on the wall isn't slowing down. Not at all. Your brain is just experiencing it differently. So, the next time you find yourself stuck in an endless queue, ask yourself this. Are the seconds actually dragging, or is your own mind just playing tricks on you?